Hello and a very warm welcome to you. I'm Natalie MacDonald and you're watching Sydney Direct. Could 2015 be the year of deleveraging for China's debt-troubled economy? Well, that's exactly the question I asked my next guest, Alaistair Chan at Moody's Analytics. Alaistair, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us today. Much appreciated.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so today we're talking China, and this economy really does appear to be two steps forward and one step back. We've got a boost to infrastructure and spending, yet still those growth concerns remain. How would you characterize the Chinese economy at present?
I think it's quite clear that China's economy is growing below potential right now. But if you dig deep beneath the headlines, I think we can see there's a slight divergence. So on one side, we've got the slowing housing slump, and that's kind of weighing on related sectors such as steel and cement, and it's causing a lot of overcapacity in those sectors. But that's been partially offset by the foreign trade side. So exports have been growing at quite a strong pace, and that's been boosted by the recovering global economy, which is increasing demand for Chinese manufactured goods. Reduced import prices worldwide have also lowered China's import bill, and that's also boosted China's economy. But overall, I think that's not enough to offset the housing slump, and so the economy is growing below potential right now.
Now, Chinese commodity imports have surged on those low resources prices. Oil barrel per day imports have exceeded 7 million barrels for the first time in Chinese history, really. Yet that copper slump also coming in. Walk us through sort of the correlation and relationship here.
So China's imports on a volume terms for iron ore, crude oil, copper have actually reached records recently. What's fallen actually is the prices, and that's mainly a function of increased supplies globally, and that's lowered China's import bill. But I think what it shows is that China's demand for commodities is still growing, but it might be growing a little slower than what people around the world might have hoped for.
Now, China is expected to continue snapping up oil, at least in physical terms anyway. However, with Chinese growth and demand concerns, could a slump be just around the corner, really?
It's definitely a risk, but we think overall our baseline forecast is for an orderly deceleration in China's economy. We think somewhere in the order of 7% for this year is our standard forecast, and I think that's predicated on the housing slump. And I think overall that'll result in a somewhat slower growth in import demand, but I think the demand will still grow at a fairly healthy pace. Again, if I talk about the imports of crude oil and the iron ore, for instance, iron ore imports have risen at a record pace, but like in December, iron ore imports rose about 86 million tonnes, whereas inventories fell below 100 million tonnes, which is for like the first time in about 10 months. What this means is that the imports of iron ore have actually gone into productive uses. They haven't gone into stockpiling or speculation. So I think that there's still quite a lot of scope for China's slowing growth to still boost demand for inventories. For commodities.
Looking ahead then, if we take into account everything that we've discussed today, how does this shape your forecast moving forward within the Chinese economy, and what are those key drivers likely to be?
So we think China's economy is still going to grow below potential in the medium term. So for this year, 2015, we're expecting growth around 7%, down to about 6.7% in 2016. I think the growth drivers are going to be quite similar to what they were last year, which is the slowing housing sector, and that's going to weigh on related sectors such as steel and cement production, and that's going to be offset by the increased the growing export sector. As of manufactured goods, electronics, and I think the domestic consumption story is also going to be remain quite consistent. Demand for automobiles, for clothing, for food, I think will still outperform, and I think that's going to be a growing trend in the medium term.
So many thanks for your comments today. Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie.
Our thanks, as always, to the team at Moody's Analytics for their comments. That is all we've got time for right now, but for now, it's goodbye.